Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the most amazing stories told in video games, but it's also a heartbreaking one. Players must continue on as they watch comrade after comrade get murdered or gunned down in some way, including the main character, Arthur Morgan. In this video, we will be paying respects to each member of the gang as we visit each of their graves across this vast landscape. Not only is it the honorable thing to do to visit each grave, it's also an achievement in the game you'll want to get if you're going after that 100% completionist. To start, it's best to know that to complete this, you must have first finished Chapter 6. The best way to get this done is in the epilogue with John Marston. The first grave we'll want to go after is Jenny Kirk. Jenny Kirk was a member that died prior to us picking up the mantle of Arthur Morgan. Jenny joined the gang in 1899. Hosea described her personality as one that had a spark. Many fans might not know of her because she was injured during the escape from the botched ferry job that preceded the events of Red Dead Redemption 2.
I know you were sweet on her. Was it that obvious? Oh yeah, pretty obvious.
I made sure we buried her carefully. I rolled back and planted some flowers she would have liked.
Did you?
Of course.
Jenny succumbed to her ailments before the gang reached the Coulter. You can find Jenny's grave north of the Coulter hideout to the northwest end of the map, above the E in Spider Gorge amidst the mist and snow. And then here we get to Jenny Kirk. For the next grave, we have Davey Callander. Davey Callander is another character missing from the events of the main game. Davey was mortally wounded during the failed ferry job in Blackwater after sustaining a gunshot wound to the gut. As the gang flees north into Grizzly West, Davey barely clings on to life and passes away shortly after the group reaches Coulter.
Davey's dead.
There was nothing more you could have done.
What are we gonna do? We need supplies.
Davey's grave is situated just left of the sea in Coulter on the world map. His small wooden plank monument is sticking out above the snow behind another set of gravestones. Grave number 3 is Eagle Flies. Eagle Flies becomes a companion later in the game. The way that Dutch used Eagle Flies not only sparked a chain of events that would get him killed, but also gave Arthur a new perspective on Dutch, becoming horrified at his actions, describing the latter as another angry fool Dutch used.
Come on. Everything is coming together. Exactly as I planned.
I've got to take the boy to his father.
As you wish. Usually is nowadays.
Sure.
Colonel Favors is actually one to kill Eagle Flies. He appears and mortally wounds Eagle Flies with a shot to the abdomen, before he himself is shot and killed by Arthur. Arthur and Charles then bring the mortally wounded Eagle Flies back to his father at the reservation, and he dies in Rainfall's arms shortly afterwards. You can find his grave just off the road between Bacchus Bridge and Wapiti Indian Reservation. Paying our respects to Eagle Flies. Now for everybody's favorite, Sean Macguire. Sean first met Dutch and Hosea at a bar somewhere in North Elizabeth. After seeing a fancy pocket watch that Dutch had, Sean followed the pair into a dark alleyway and threatened them at gunpoint. Much to Sean's surprise, both Dutch and Hosea simply laughed and dared Sean to shoot them, which he did. It turned out that the pair had spotted Sean first and silently taken the bullets out of Sean's gun. Instead of killing him, Dutch and Hosea decided to give Sean some food and inducted him into the gang. Sean is later president alongside Bill and Micah in the town of Rhodes, joining the two and Arthur on a potential job providing security for the Gray family. However, as the four are walking through the street, they are ambushed by the Gray's hired guns, and Sean is immediately killed by a shot to the head from a sniper.
Both of them. They were saying the Catherine Braithwaite.
Hey, hold up. This don't feel right.
Now it don't feel right. I could have told you.
His charm and clever wit live on at the final resting place, which is northwest of Rhodes, directly west of Southfield Flats, in a small outcrop overlooking the water. Sean Macguire. It's a beautiful place to be buried. Next grave up is the turncoat Kieran Duffy. Kieran Duffy is a captured member of the O'Driscoll gang that ends up earning the respect of Arthur Morgan after saving him from fellow O'Driscoll gang members. He gets drunk and tells Arthur that joining the Vanderlyn gang was one of the best choices he ever made, and that sometimes he reflects on the fact that if he had stayed with the O'Driscolls, Arthur may have ended up killing him.
Stayed with O'Driscoll, you'd have probably killed me by now. You ever think of that?
We'd have both died. At 6 Points cabin.
Yes.
At some point during that drunken night, Kieran was captured by the O'Driscolls and tortured until they found out the Vanderlyn gang's location. After he had told them everything, he was decapitated, his eyes were gouged out, and his corpse was sent back to Shady Belle on horseback, tied up in a manner that displayed his decapitated, eyeless head being held in his cupped hands.
What the hell have they done to me? Look, there in the tree line. Everybody take cover! O'Driscoll boys are coming!
Dutch orders Reverend Swanson to bury Kieran somewhere that's close, but not too close.
Mr. Swanson, would you take this boy and bury him someplace near, but not too near?
Of course. Charles, help me with the body.
We need to get this place cleaned up.
Kieran's grave can be found in the meadows west of Shady Belle. You can find his unremarkable grave in between Shady Belle and the ruins of Bulger Glade. Next up, we have a twofer. For graves 6 and 7, we have Lenny Summers and Hosea Matthews. Lenny is shown to be an intelligent, fun-loving young man. He is also shown to be very competent and effective in many situations, with Hosea and Arthur practically viewing him as one of the gang's best men. Like most members, he is very loyal to the Vanderlyn gang and considers them family. Out of everyone at camp, he appears to be the most educated. This is likely due to his upbringing, which when compared to others in the gang, was more reasonably decent. Lenny is gunned down by 2 Pinkerton riflemen while leading the gang's escape on the rooftops. After dispatching the Pinkertons, Arthur checks Lenny for signs of life, of which he finds none. But the gang must leave his body. Later on, Sadie mentions that she and the remaining gang managed to get Lenny's body out of St. Denis by robbing the local morgue, and eventually buried both Lenny and Hosea together in the Blue Water Marsh. Oh, Hosea. In the mid-1870s, Hosea met another outlaw named Dutch at a campfire. He tried to con and rob Dutch only to realize that Dutch had stolen from him in the meantime. Both saw that the skill each other had and laughed, before deciding to team up together. As of 1899, Hosea is both the most senior member of the gang and Dutch's lieutenant. Intelligent and level-headed, Hosea regularly advises Dutch and is valued for his wisdom. As much as he shares similar ideals, he tends to favor peaceful methods of making money and is more pragmatic in his understanding of what lies in store for the gang. Later in the story, while the remaining members of the gang are robbing a bank, Hosea is captured by Agent Milton. Milton holds Hosea hostage outside the bank, proclaiming to Dutch that he has given them enough chances. Milton then shoots Hosea in the chest, killing him, and says to Dutch that Hosea's death is their fault. You can find his grave in Lemoyne, directly east of La Grosse. Him and Lenny will be buried side by side. And that we have Lenny and Hosea down. Next to last, we have Susan Grimshaw. Miss Grimshaw was one of the original gang members of the Vanderlyn gang, alongside Dutch, Hosea, and Arthur. She became romantically involved with Dutch at some stage, and could often be seen sitting on Dutch's lap. Their relationship later ended though, and Dutch eventually moved on to another woman named Annabelle. Despite that, she remained a close associate to Dutch, remaining on good terms with him and gaining his respect. Later on, during a gang standoff at camp, Micah is revealed to be the Rat. Susan points a shotgun at Micah, demanding that he put down his gun. Suddenly, Javier announces that Pinkertons are coming, which distracts Susan. Seeing his chance, Micah shoots Susan in the stomach while she is off guard, and she quickly succumbs to her wound. Miss Grimshaw is later buried by Charles. Her grave can be found southwest of the Elysian Pool on a cliff nearby, and it's a beautiful one. Overlooking this beautiful site, you will find Susan Grimshaw's grave. Last but certainly not least, we have Arthur Morgan. Arthur is one of the best characters in all of video games for a reason. His redemption during the time playing the story is truly like no other.
I'm dying, sister.
Okay.
Yeah, I got TB. I got it. Beating a man to death for a few bucks. I've lived a bad life, sister.
The only downfall is we couldn't see more of it.
Don't work no more. But I'm seeing things a lot more clearly now. I wish things were different.
Breathe.
But it weren't us who changed.
Around 1877, Arthur was found as a wild delinquent and picked up off the streets by Dutch and Hosea. Viewing the pair as surrogate father figures, Arthur came to share Dutch's vision of a life lived free from the constraints of civilization and the rule of law. The pair taught him how to read, write, hunt, fight, shoot, and ride, becoming their first prodigy, as well as one of the founding members of the Vandalin gang. In 1885, he met a 12-year-old boy named John Marston, who had been saved by Dutch from being lynched by a group of Illinois homesteaders. John was inducted into the gang and raised alongside Arthur, with the pair growing as close as brothers. Dutch instilled the boys with his anarchist worldviews against a corrupt government and preached that revenge was a fool's game. Over the years, Arthur and John became regarded as Dutch's favorite sons.
Go. Now, don't say anything. Don't thank me. Take it and get out of here and start a new life somewhere. It would mean a lot to me. Good luck out there.
You're a fine man, sir.
Just get out of here. Arthur, go to your family. The place is quiet. Get out of here. You go with my blessing.
Thank you, Arthur.
Get the hell out of here and be a goddamn man. You're my brother. I know.
There are actually 4 ways that Arthur can die in the game, depending on if Arthur goes back for the money or helps John escape, as well as having high or low honor. All 4 deaths are a bittersweet ending for our main protagonist of the game. Depending on how Arthur died, a deer basking in the sunlight, high honor, or a coyote in the rain, low honor, is seen. At some point after his death, Arthur's body was found by Charles Smith, who buried him in a beautiful location facing the evening sun, the way he would have wanted. The grave can be found in Amberino, northeast of the Bacchus Bridge, and no better person to visit his grave than John Marston. R.I.P. And with that, we got the achievement. After visiting all 9 graves, the Paying Respects achievement will unlock. For being such an easy achievement to get, not a lot of people have this one. So hop on your horse and go seek out all 9 graves. I hope this video was helpful and informative. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. Also, go follow on Twitch if you want to see these challenges done live. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I love you, Arthur Morgan. I love you.